you're fine with that. Um, yeah, so recording is started. Sharath, I think you have already shared your screen.
Correct.
Last session we talked about sort of lead management and lead qualification. I think we are going to talk about lead nurturing today.
Correct.
Okay. So I'll hand it over to you. Take it ahead and walk us through the lead nurturing process using Pardot.
Sure. Hey, good morning, everyone. Again, thanks for joining. My name is Sharath, where I have an experience for around 5+ years on Marketing Cloud and Pardot. Currently, I'm working in a company called Theorem India Private Limited. My today's agenda is how to do the lead nurturing in Pardot by using Engagement Studio and different automations tools, which we have discussed in our last session. Before going to Engagement Studio, we have to know about what is lead nurturing. Lead nurturing is a process of developing a relationship with buyers at every stage of the buyer's journey. Generally, it will focusing on marketing and communication efforts and listening to the needs of prospect actions as well. For example, if somebody is in the program where we are going to concentrate on what are all the activities they have done. For example, did he open the email? Did he fill out the form? Did he download a file, etc. By the end of this model, you will able to learn about what is lead nurturing, what are the primary components where you are going to use in Engagement Studio, like action, rules, triggers, and weights. And next, where I'm going to talk about different types of list that can be used in engagement program. After that, I will show the demo of engagement program and how to edit those program once they are in live, and what are the different data you can get through the engagement studio reports. These are the topics where I'm going to cover in this session. First, what is lead nurturing? As I told, lead nurturing is a process of developing a relationship with buyers at every stage of your sales funnel to capture those customers' engagement. What is Engagement Studio? The Engagement Studio is a powerful yet simple way to deliver a complex data-driven engagement programs. It's almost like a journey with respect to any of the marketing automation tools. It is just a marketing command center, and it is so much more than lead nurturing. In the sense, as this has been said, you don't have to send an email in Engagement Studio only. You can just really use that program to further segment your data and looking for a specific group of prospects, and you can do something for them in future as well, where we have number of variations where you can segment our prospects by using Engagement Studio. Other than the segmentations, where you can send targeted emails based on prospect behavioral activities to qualify those prospects, and you can provide some personalized experience for your prospects and turn them into a marketing qualified lead. These are a few examples where you're going to use an Engagement Studio. Whenever you started with lead nurturing program, the lead nurturing will helps you to send a right message at a right time to the right person. From this, you can build a relationship naturally, and you can leverage your existing database as well. Before starting with an engagement program, where you can start with some basic components. The first one is what are all the things you need to run an engagement program. The first one is the game plan and the strategy. The game plan will helps you to with respect to timelines, with respect to content creating, etc. The second thing you have to keep in mind is the purpose of the program, for which purpose we are running that program. For example, is there any welcome related emails? Is there any re-engagement campaigns like that? We need to plan those purpose of that program. The third one is about the KPIs. The KPI is the most important part in any of the marketing automation tools when we are targeting for a particular list of customers. And the fourth one is the list. Obviously, the recipient list and the suppression list as well, whom we are targeting and whom we are going to suppress those customers. And the last one with respect to Engagement Studio, the marketing assets, that will include emails, templates, forms, landing pages, etc. These are all some basic components you need to plan before planning to go with any of the Engagement Studio programs. The types of programs or general engagement program use cases are the event follow-ups. For example, if they have done any engagements where some of the prospects are fill out the form or some of them are registered for an event, will help us to target for future programs as well. That will help with respect to event follow-up. You can also use for industry and product education flow, re-engaging the cold prospects, re-engaging the cold prospects in the sense who are not engaged with your brand for almost 6 months, from past 6 months, where you're going to re-engage those customers through a programming nurture, competitors, head-to-head deals, demo or trial options, customer onboardings, cross-selling and upselling, and other internal initiatives within your company, where you're going to target for these all the general program use cases where you're going to use that under the Engagement Studio. On the right side, you can see this is the layout of the Engagement Studio, where we are going to start from the very top. Whenever this is the starting point of this engagement program, whenever you got a split, this split will help us to segment the customers by using yes or no path. For example, if you met this split, any of the customer, he is automatically come to S pathway, where you're going to future we are going to create a separate use cases for them. If they are in no path, where we have a separate programs where we are going to run on a separate path. Whenever you get an yes or no path, you and your team need to figure out what it is you need to happen on either side. I will show that in one of the example. Next is engagement program components. As I told, the components you can use in the program are the main components: the email list, email templates, where you can use forms, landing pages, and you have an option like under the engagement program like actions, triggers, rules, and stops. For example, if you want to send an email, obviously you need an send an email template. Without the list, you cannot target any of the customers. By using these options, we can segment our prospects. These are the 4 essential activity you will use in the Engagement Studio. Next, I will show the demo of Engagement Studio. For that, you need to come to Marketing, Engagement Studio. I'm going to add a new engagement program. Just like any other program, it's going to ask the demo. By default, whenever creating any of the marketing assets in Pardot, you need to specify some folders. And you have to write a description of that program, why we are going to run that program, will help you to understand the other users as well. The next comes the recipient list. In this recipient list, you can add not only a single list, you can add multiple lists as well. These are all the lists where you're going to target our customers. You have a suppression list as well. Suppression in the sense, it will comes under subscribers and non-subscribers, both, that you don't want to receive those email communication from your end, where you can use the suppression list as well. Same here, you can select a multiple suppression list. You have an option of send email during business hours. Generally, this is going to use whenever we are targeting for US region. For example, select, if you want to send an email during the business hours, where you're going to use this, and you have a business days options. By using business days, for example, you can target this engagement program from Monday to Friday, or you can restrict or to send only on Friday, and you can send it on Saturday or Sunday. Likewise, you're going to add those business days. Next comes a day start and the day end. Sorry, I think I have seen some disturbance. Can you please be in mute, Bhagavat?
Can you please go on mute? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. The day starts is nothing but, for example, many of the marketing automation tool will use, if you where we are going to use the send blackout window. Send blackout window is nothing but where you're going to restrict those customers from putting those time to send to receive any emails or send any emails from those automation tools. Where, for example, where we have an option to restrict those as well with respect to starting of the day and end of the day, where we have an time zone options where you can select based on our requirements for which region we are targeting. And you have an option like allow prospects to enter the program more than once. This completely based on your business requirements, what type of engagement program you are creating. Based on that, you are going to use this one. Once all this done, you are going to save your program. Now it has created a layout where currently I'm in build tab, where you can see 4 different tabs in engagement studio: build, test, reports, and activity. Now I'm currently in build tab. If you see here, you can see the water drops, where this is telling that this will works on waterfall basis. Once someone reaches to end, they have ended the journey with respect to this program. The plus button will help you to add a new step where you can add actions, triggers, rules, and end. These are all the 3 main logic options where we are using an engagement program. I'm going to explain one by one. First, starting with action. Whenever you are using an action, this is telling that do some actions on this. In the sense, generally where the actions is going to do that on customers or a prospect who come to this place. You have many options to do that actions, where you can add to list, add to Salesforce campaign, adjust score. For a demo purpose, I will select this one. You can adjust the prospect score as well. You have an option like, for example, if you select the adjust score, you have an option like overall score and scoring category. If you select the overall score by 500, it is going to add the 500 for those prospect list who are all comes under that list. They are going to, this program will add, this activity will add a 500 points to that list. Or you have an option like 500 as well. For example, if those prospects will have different number of scores, where will the automatically it's going to become a 500 for each of them. That is one thing. One second. Other than that, we have an option like apply tags, assign to group, assign to Salesforce queue, assign to user, change prospects field value. You have many options like this to do this. For example, and you can send the email as well. For example, if you want to send any of the email for those prospect list, you can select the email template. where you have three options. You can see it here: immediately, wait, and on date. The immediately is nothing but an engagement studio apply this action once the prospect hit that step. Means whenever the prospect arrives to this step, automatically is immediately is going to receive an email. The wait option is nothing but, for example, if you give 2 days of wait period, where it is going to wait for 2 days of time to send this email. On date is nothing but, if you can mention any of the specific date where you need to send that email on that specific day only. This is how it will works, the send email with respect to action one. Next, I think you will get some idea how to use the action one. Generally, action is nothing but do something, as you mentioned here. The next comes the trigger. When you select the trigger, trigger will help you to define the yes or no path based on the prospect action. It listens for an event to occur within a specific period of time. Generally, a trigger is there to answer the question like, has the prospect has done any activity or not? Based on these activities, they will continue down the path. For example, if somebody clicks the custom redirect click, we have an option here like any and specific. If somebody has done that activity, will automatically go to S path. If somebody hasn't done this activity, those person will automatically go to no path. For example, if I select any, you can see here it automatically creates two paths, S path and no path. For example, in the initial stage, if these targeted list is going to receive this email, if some of them have clicked the custom redirect clicks, they will automatically come to S path, where we are going to target in future by using this flow. If they are in no path, automatically those customers will be comes under this path, where you're going to target under this flow with respect to different criteria where you're going to use. And likewise, you have an email click link. For example, if you select the email click link, it will ask which link you are expecting to click the prospect. You have an option like any link or a specific link. For example, if you use any link, it will shows you can, if the prospect has clicked any of the link in the email, this email, he will automatically go to S path. If you ask for a specific link, you need to mention which specific link he need to click to go to S path. Likewise, where we have different options as well. Email open, file download, if the prospect has downloaded a file, if the prospect has filled out the form, if the prospect has filled out this form handler, where we have a landing page as well. For example, if you select any of the landing page, you can check is there any specific landing page or any landing page he is viewed or he was completed with respect to fill out the form. You can do all those activities by using the trigger options. This is generally how the trigger options will work. For example, one second. Yes. For example, if you select any of the email click link, you can see the options like up to a maximum of and the wait. Up to a maximum of, in this sense, if you choose 5 days over here, the prospect has 5 days to do this activity. Within 5 days, if they have done that activity, they will automatically go to S pathway. If somebody doesn't click the link in an email within 5 days, they will automatically go to no pathway. I think we are giving a maximum of 5 days to do that, to do this activity. Apart from that, if you're using a wait period, obviously, if we do this activity, he's going to wait for particular 5 period of days for move to next step. This is how the trigger will works. The next comes the rules. Rules operate the same way as trigger. These are all rules where you can check under the prospect record. Is that person assigned to Salesforce queue? Is that prospect is assigned to user? Grade of that prospect likewise. List. If you want to give an example, for example, if the prospect grade is D plus, this means they are going to, if the prospects who are all having D plus of grade, they're automatically going to S path. Otherwise, they are going to no path. Likewise, for example, if I want to give one more example, the prospect custom field. If you select the prospect custom field based on the based on the product interest, for example, if any of the person is having an interest of product K, only those customers will comes to S path. If the, for example, if the product interest is of the prospect is B, obviously is going to no path. Where we have seen the same options here as well, immediately and wait. Immediately is nothing but whenever the prospect has done that action is automatically go to S path. It's not going to wait for a particular period of time. If it has done any activity after that immediately time period is obviously go to no path. This is some examples where you're going to use the triggered options. I think now I'm going to create a same example, which you can see here. First, initially, we are going to send an email. After that, we are checking whether that person has clicked that email, opened that email or not. If he is open, he will automatically come to S path. If he is not open, he's come to no path. Once he has opened that email, first we are going to notify the user, assigned user, any of the assigned user, and applies the tags for him and end that program. If that person hasn't opened the email, where you're going to, those people, those prospect will comes under no path, where you're going to again send the same email to check is there any possibility those prospects can done that activity. If the prospect has done that activity with respect to, for example, where you're going to mention the specific link to click that under that email, after that we are going to create a task and end that program as well, where I'm going to create a same kind of program. Give me a minute. I think I have initially already selected and send email. After that, I need to check whether that person has opened an email or not. Where you can find here, the green will give you an option like triggers. The blue will give you an option like action, where I'm going to select the trigger one. I'm checking whether that person has opened the email or not. Where I will give you an option like maximum of 5 days to wait to do that activity. Once that person has comes to S path, where I'm notify the users. This is again, sorry, notifying the user, where you can find number of users. Immediately I'm notifying him, and after that I'm apply a tag for that actions. Yes, if anybody open that email, those person will comes under the S path, and they are going to comes notify the user initially and apply the tags for that prospect. If they are in no path, I'm going to send the same email again. Where I'm going to wait for 5 days, because I'm not going to, since if you send it before that, it's immediately sent like that. And you are going to check this whether the person has clicked the any specific link. where you can end this program. This is the same example here. Here, whenever the recipient list comes to this path, obviously he's going to receive an email. Once he's received those emails, where we are going to check whether that person has opened an email or not. If he's opened, he is automatically come to S path, where we are going to notify the user and apply a tag for him. If he is in no path, we're going to send the same email again, and we are checking whether he's click any of the specific link what we have mentioned, and end with those programs. Okay. Okay. The steps types will include action, trigger, and rules, and end as well. Action is nothing but perform an action on a prospect. Trigger is nothing but listen for a defined time for an event to occur. Rules is check for a specific criteria or values over the life of the prospects. When it comes to timing, we have an options like immediately and wait for both action and rules and triggers. Immediately is nothing but apply the specific action once the prospect arrives at that step. Wait is nothing but you're going to wait for a specific period of time to do this, to do the next activity. The same as for rules and triggers. When it comes to the triggers, we have an option like wait up to a maximum of. From here, you can see that, for example, if you're waiting for a wait up to 3 days, in the sense, if that person has done the email click link in the second day, obviously is immediately go to the next flow, since we are using wait up to a maximum of. For example, if you're using a wait period of 3 days, if you click the link on a first day as well, but he is going to wait for the next 3 days to go to next part. Wait up to a maximum of means engagement studio will listen for the specific activity or events to occurs between the time of prospect entered the program and now. Which when comes to wait, we have engagement studio will hold prospect on a specific triggers for a specific period of prospect time. Next, testing and starting the engagement program. The testing will help you to how the engagement program will run, what happened to those prospects, and how it is functioning. I will show a little demo over here. Currently, we are in build tab, correct? Click the test tab. Now, you can see that option. If you begin the test, then it is going to each individual step as a prospect. And the right hand side, you can see that as well. When that engagement program is started, for example, this engagement program is started on 17th, where it is going to send the first email on 17th as well, the email sent options. If you click the, whenever the trigger options or in rules options will comes, it will ask for an yes or no path when you are testing. For example, if you click the yes path, you can see it's going to, when the email is open, it's notify the user, it applies the tag and end those program. Same thing, if you want to do that for no path, where you can, one second. If you want to do that run that program for no path, where you're going to again check with the run path, where you can see all those details here. You can find here, for example, was email open. Once this is done, this is how generally the testing will do whenever you are creating any of the engagement programs. Next, one second. Yes. Once the testing is done, where to start an engagement program, I'm going to click that start. If you want to start the program, which will ask for when you need to start the program and when you need to stop the program as well. If you want to start immediately, you can mention now, or if you want to schedule for a particular date and time, where you can mention on schedule date and time, with respect to start date and time. When it comes to the stop, if you want to stop any of the engagement studio, where you can check for never option, and you have an option like with respect to specific date and time, where you can mention to stop this engagement program. Here, for example, I will start the program immediately. I will make it as where it is going to ask for, can I start? Yes. Now the program is started. I think starting an engagement program, it clicks to start in the upper right hand. You have an option like start, where prospects in your recipient list will begin to feed into your programming logic. The user will receive a confirmation email when the preparation process is complete. Next, editing an engagement program. If you want to edit what happened to prospects in an engage program, if you need to edit once the program has started. If any of the prospects were already past that, for example, if your changes in the middle of the engagement program, if any of the prospects is already past that activity, which you are editing that activity, he will not receive that update. Only a new prospects can get those changes. If you want to do an edit with respect to a particular program, you need to pause that program first. Once you have paused, go and do the changes. What changes you need to do the changes and save it again start that program. But generally, how in the sense, for example, if the prospect has already crossed this path, he is not going to receive the changes what you have updated. If he hasn't passed that path, obviously he's going to receive that updated email which you have updated now. After that, where we are in reporting tab, once the program is started, automatically it will comes to a report tab where you can find the black spots over here. This will see the number of prospects be there with respect to each activity. For example, you can see 0. Nobody, since I don't know, there is nobody on that list. Nobody will come to this activity, 0. That's how it will show, for example, how many customers or prospects have reached this path. When it comes to the yes or no options, it will shows the percentage. If you click this percentage or a number, you can get who are all those prospects as well. Yes, editing an engagement program. First, you need to pause that one and you navigate to the specific program. After the build tab, go to build tab, edit what you need to do, the changes. Once the editing is done, again, you can kickstart your program. I think I have explained the reports. You can see here, you can see like 283 customers have received the first email. If you click this 283, you can see all those prospects and who are all those prospects and those prospect activities, what they have done with respect to that email. You can see the percentage here as well. From this percentage, you will get to know how many percentage of people will come to S path, how many percentage of people will go to no path. This will help you to generally for the reporting purpose to check the KPIs. At last, we have an option like where I'm going to review some questions. For example, the first question will be, what marketing assets are used in engagement program? I think these are all the major important. You have to know if you want to do your certification. These are all the basic questions where you're going to ask in a specialist one. I think we are going to use the list, forms, landing pages, email assets, where I have discussed what are the difference between action triggers and rules. The action will perform an action on the prospect records. The trigger will do the triggers on records. The rules will checking for something on the prospect record. I think I have explained with some examples as well. What is the difference between wait and wait up to a maximum of? Wait is nothing but you have to wait for that particular period to perform the next step. Wait up to a maximum of means, For example, if that person has done that activity, immediately he will go to the next step, apart from waiting those days which I have mentioned. Before starting a program, what requirements must be met? This means what I need to start a program. If any of the engagement program, I need a list, correct? Yes, that is the answer for this fourth one. When editing a program, what happened to prospects currently in the middle of the program? I think I have just explained this one. If the prospects are has already passed that doesn't affect the changes. If the prospect is new to the engagement program or new to that activity, obviously he is going to get that changes what he have done. When reviewing the engagement program reporting tab, how do I see in-depth details on a specific send email action? As I told, just click on send email step or the step which you want to check. If you click that activity, you can get the complete report of who has done this activity, what are the actions he has done with respect to that particular activity. Yeah, that's all from my side.
This is
Thank
great
you.
session, Sharad. I really appreciate you taking out time. So
Yes,
we
thank
have few questions here in the chat window. I can read them out for you. And the first one is from Ashish Babu. And he was asking about the lead score. And he specifically asked, will this add to existing score? So when you are on the lead scores screen, he
correct.
asked, will it add to the existing score? So does it
Yes,
happen?
yes, you have two options over there. If you correctly see that I have used an option by and to. To is nothing but where you're going to add, for example, if the prospect is having a score of 50, it is going to add what the score I have added in that activity. By is nothing but, sorry, by is reverse of that. By is going to add that, for example, he's already having a 50 of score, where it is going to add another 500 for that prospect. If you're using two, if the prospect score is 1000 as well, is automatically comes to 500 with respect to that activity. You have two options, buy and two, you can do that.
I see. Okay.
Yes,
I hope, Anish, that answers your question. We have both options. So we can replace the score or we can add it to the existing score. Okay.
correct.
Garima have asked, can we record if the email was forwarded to someone? Okay. So you
Okay,
sent it to, you set up the journey, you sent out the email,
correct.
let's say to me, and then I forwarded to Garima.
Yes,
Uh, and would you be able to capture that? And then, or if someone replied to an email and then add it to a contact scoring. So I think there
yeah,
are two options here, right? Like one is, can we identify whether the email is forwarded to somebody else?
yes.
The second,
Garima, yes, I'm going to answer your first question. Garima, since we are Pardot is mainly targeting for business to business. Whenever you are targeting for business to business, where we are targeting with respect to some grading prospect as well, the profiles and the score, correct? For example, here you don't have an option like forward to an email, because since it is a business criteria, it's not a retail one to forward someone to buy those products like that. Where we are targeting for the particular customers, we don't want that person to forward an email where if that unknown person is done that any of the activity, we don't want that activity to register for this person's score. Generally we are not going to do we don't have an option to do the forward to an email options with respect to a prospect, sorry, Pardot, since it is a business criteria where we are going to use it in Pardot. Yes, the second question is
if someone
here.
replied to email and then add it to a contact scoring. So like if I reply to email or if I submit a form, will it get
Yes,
added
yes,
to
yes,
the?
if that person has done that activity, definitely is going to create a prospect in Pardot. But as I want to answer your first questions, you don't have an option to forward an email. Obviously, if any of the person will come to any of their website, if he filled, automatically he will be become a contact or a lead or a prospect in our account.
Sharad, so uh, we don't have an option in a Pardot, but then end user can always forward it, right? Like let's say that you are the uh,
No, no,
market
yeah.
person.
Here, yes,
So
yes. End user can forward it, but generally in Pardot, since we are targeting only for our business requirements, for example, I'm a
Mhm.
business person where I'm targeting
Yeah,
only for me. If I forward it to any non-business person, if I forward it also, each and every activity is going to capture in Pardot based on me. For example, if I forward it to someone, if
Mhm.
someone has done that click in an email, he is going to add that score for not for me. It's going to add for him. Since he has
Correct.
opened that email, he has clicked that email. I'm
Right.
not open that email. Since we are targeting most of the things over scores and gradings, we are not going to use then forward option in Pardot.
Okay, makes sense. Um Next one is again from Garima, and she's talking. I believe that she's talking about Pardot and Salesforce CRM integration, where she's asking to what level we can add a criteria suspension list. And her specific question is, for example, I have a VIP contact. I would want that all other contacts of that account shouldn't receive that email. So she wants to, like filter out based on the specific criteria on the contact. So I think which option we can use here to, like specify this kind of criteria.
Yes, 1 second. To what level can we add?
So if I understand that correctly, so in Salesforce CRM, we have a account and contact kind of a relationship, but in
Yes,
Pardot, everything is like like a prospect or a
correct,
individual person, right? We don't
correct.
have
We
email
don't.
and like
Yeah,
contact and account kind of a relationship. So that question will not be means that question will not arise because there is no relationship. You cannot have those relational queries kind of a thing. But everything is your email list, right? Everything is
correct.
your email
You,
list.
I think,
Then
as I mentioned, if, for example, if you are targeting any of the engagement programs or a normal email list where you need to create your suppression list, who don't want to your target under Pardot only, you cannot get that from Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, Salesforce. You don't have an option like that.
yeah.
You need to
So
restrict that under the mark under the Pardot.
correct. So in the subscriber list, you manage your subscriber, define your criteria, and then define your target set. That's how it works. We don't, maintain that relational. It's not kind of a relational database that we have in Salesforce, right? Like in Service Sales Cloud or Service Cloud.
100%.
Yeah. Next question is again from Anish. Can we include custom field or button which is in email and use it to consider click or shared to identify whether email is shared or not? So probably what Anish is saying is that can we give a link in the email to forward that specific email? So let's say that you are a business, you send a marketing email to me, and can you include a link in your email to forward it to your friends?
Yes, I think the first question that is answered as well. I think generally in Pardot, when we are targeting for business, we are not going to use this at all. But I haven't seen in real scenarios where we can do these options.
Yeah, and
I think
then
yes,
in my understanding as well, Sharath,
yes,
the email clients are little restrictive in terms of security and all that, right? So
correct.
to protect users from, let's say that you are on ICICI website, right? And then I send you an email saying that okay, this is really nice offer that you can opt for, and user click on that email, and it opens in the another tab where you have in on one tab you have authenticated ICICI session, and in the second tab, if that email the link gets open, there can be a security attack, right? So to
Chances is
avoid
there.
this
Yes,
kind, yeah, to avoid this kind of things, email clients restrict certain operations and stuff like that. So we cannot uh,
yeah.
include all type of content like custom fields or things like that,
I think
or things which will perform certain type of operations. But then,
I
yeah,
yes, I think as I know, we are not only for a business perspective. If you're doing for retail also, we are not going to use this option. As I know,
correct.
what
And
Anish
then,
has mentioned.
yeah,
Yes,
when we do that, most of time your email will get flagged as a spam, and then most of the mail clients will um, show a warning message to users saying that there is some suspicious content and stuff like that. So
correct.
for to avoid those kind of things, getting your email server blacked out over the internet, we generally try and avoid adding this kind of dynamic functionalities in the email.
Perfect.
So do
Correct.
we need to write a trigger for the use case, or we need to use a pre-built trigger which are part of Pardot managed package? Um,
I don't think so. We
Pardot
don't have an option. Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's so it's a little different tool from what we
Yes.
have
Other
as a sales cloud or service cloud, right?
not only sales and service cloud. For example, if you come to Salesforce Marketing Cloud, also you can use any of the APIs to create your customized to make customized your
Yeah,
tool. But
journey.
with respect to Pardot, we don't have that much of option to customize as per our requirements. It's almost like a pre-built one. We need to use pre-built, which are all there with respect to Pardot tool.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
um any other questions, guys? We have more 9 minutes, and we also have one interesting game to play to decide our winner for certification voucher. So if you have any other question, please feel free to post on chat. By that time, I'll set up our game. I believe that all of you must have used Kahoot. In last session also I talked about it. I shared a link. Anyone who have never used Kahoot here, can we use a custom code from a trigger? Bhagavat is asking, can we use custom code from a trigger? Again, Sharad, do you want to address that, or?
No, Atul, as I mentioned, it's not much customized. We can do that under Pardot. As per my knowledge, where we have tried for something like with respect to reporting dashboards from one of the clients, but when we checked with the support, Salesforce support, they told we don't have much option to do those in Pardot tool.
Correct, and that's what my understanding is. So Pardot is, like if you compare with Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, it's a different tool. Its objective is different, right?
Correct.
It's not for like sort of the process automation or the general operations that we do in CRM, right? It's a marketing automation tool. So whatever related to your B2B kind of a marketing operations, whatever it comes to that, there it really shines. It provides a lot of functionality for creating your journeys and defining score, doing the lead management, and nurturing the lead, and then improving your sales. So that's how it helps. It's not typical uh, uh, like a sales cloud or service cloud kind of a tool. Okay. So about that Kahoot game, I think I am all set now. Let me share my screen. Okay. So are you guys able to view my screen? No, no. So Anish, what you need to do is you need to go on Kahoot.it. Okay. Um, so So we have a Ketan, we have a Vinay, Akshata, Vaishu, Shweta already registered on the link. Can you go to site named as a kahoot.in? Okay, let me see the chat window. Please disable music. Sure, I have just done that. Um, Not able to join. The site name is, I'll just share the site name again with you guys. Okay, is everyone, so how many folks are there in here? There are 13 folks who have already joined. And how many we have in the meeting? We have approximately 18 folks. So 5 folks still are not able to join. You guys, I'll give you a couple of minutes to join. If you face any challenge, you can unmute yourself and talk, or post it on a chat. Um, so currently it's 11:27. I'll start at exactly 11. I'll try to start at exactly 11:30 probably, or as soon as I get a confirmation that everyone is here. Anyone facing challenge for joining the Kahoot game?
Hi Atul, Aishwarya here.
Yeah.
I'm facing problem. That is when I once I enter the code, I'm getting an error.
So you
We didn't recognize that game pin.
Okay, so go to kahoot.in and the pin that you need to enter is 5. I'm sharing my screen, right? So can you see that that game pin that I'm showing?
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm using the same one.
um, can you double check, because I believe there are
Yeah, I'll check again whether like I'll restart it and check again.
okay. Please mute because there is a echo coming from your side. Okay, thank you. Okay, 1 more minute and we'll start. Okay, perfect. Aishwarya is also here, and 11:29. Are we good to start? Okay, so we have a 16 folks and it's 11:30. So in the interest of time, let's get started. The first question is a kind of a demo question. It's have a 0 point. So just for the folks who have never used this site or played this game before, it's for them. So what will happen is that we'll show you question and then the four answers for that question, and then you can choose the correct answer. And there are two factors which will get in, actually three factors. First factor is correct answer, like if you get a correct answer you'll get some points. The second factor is how quickly you get the correct answer, right? So whoever click the right answer first will get the maximum point. And the third factor, which is how many points that question have. So there are only three different types of points I have given. First question is having 0 points, so it won't be like considered for the final result, but then rest of the questions will get you points. And then in the last question is the code that we showed you in the last session, right? So the last session we have shown you the code for so I'll that is how I am making sure that you join that session. So um, you need to identify that correct code in that last question, and it will give you double point for that specific question. And that is how we are going to decide the winner for today's session. Okay, and the winner will get a certification vouchers. Okay, so let's get started. So what is our Twitter group handle? And this question, for now I have given a 60 second, but then after 2 or 3 questions the time will get reduced. You'll not get complete 60 second, because otherwise it will take 10 15, like 15, at least 15 minutes for us to cover that entire session. So identify the correct Twitter group handle for us. And this question is for 0 marks. So it will not be considered in the final result, but just this is just for the folks who have never used this site, to give them a flavor like how the questions will be and how they can respond. So 8 seconds. All 16 answers are here. So probably only two folks got the incorrect answer. Well, actually four. Um, Majority of the folks got the correct answer. Our Twitter handle is Pune B2B Users Group. Pardot, Salesforce, and Pune are not our group handle. Okay, majority folks got that answer correct. There are two folks who says Pardot, and there are two who says Pune. That is not the right answer. We'll just get the folks who are on the top list. Okay, so the first person who responded correctly was Drishti. Next one is Pradeep. Next one is Krishna. Okay, so these three folks responded very quickly. As I said, the point are zero for this question. So it was just a demo question. Now the actual question will start, and um, make sure the the things are in order, the correctness, the timing, right? So focus on those two in that order. Let's go to the next question. We want to create a SF task when a prospect submit a form and has a grade better than B. How do you set this up? You can use a prospect tax, you can use a completion action, you can use segmentation rule, or you can use automation rule. And as this is, like the first question, I have given 60 seconds entire. We have received 12 answers as of now. There are approximately 14 now, 15, and we have all.
Sorry for sorry for disturbing you. Are you presenting your screen? I'm not able to see the. Can you please stop and again share your screen, if you don't mind?
Are you guys able to view my screen?
Yes, I can. I can view now. I can
Okay.
see now.
Okay. So 6 folks are saying the correct answer is automation rule, and only one person got it. Interesting. So let's see who's that person. Again, it's Aishwarya. Awesome. So Aishwarya is leading now. The first question, she got it right, but don't worry, there are still more questions. Okay. How to change a prospect score using automation. Is it completion action? Is it profile? Is it segmentation rule? Is it completion action? We got 17 answers, so I think everyone have.
There are two completion actions, I think. Two options.
Oh, okay. So you got a like 75% as a okay.
Two duplicate options, first and last. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is question number 3.
Third.
Okay. Okay. I'll correct it. Okay. Next is, and we got Ketan at the first, Ashish on the second, Garima on the third. Let's go to the next question. You have been asked to create a list of all current customers. What list type do you select? Wow, people are giving answers really fast. And you might notice that the time also reduced because now you sort of got acquainted with it. And the correct answer is dynamic list, and majority people have identified that correctly. So good job, guys. You have made attention. Now let's take a look at the score. Okay, so Garima is on top. She have 1780 points. Aishwarya is second. Shweta is third. All three girls are leading. Guys, come on, buckle it up. You want to pull one-time list of all prospect in the Southeast Territory. What type of list you create? A dynamic list, a segmentation rule, a campaign, a prospect tab. A segmentation rule, right? And majority of you got it right, which is a great sign. You guys again paid a lot of attention during both the session. Let's quickly take a look at the result. Oh, Aishwarya is again leading. So there is a tough competition between Aishwarya, Shweta, Garima. Come on, you can again come on top. Um, and KS is someone who I think first time got into top three. So well done, KS. You have a great opportunity to win that certification voucher. How can an action be applied to a prospect who view a specific page of a website? Right? Custom redirect, completion rule, page action, automation rule. Page action. So I think it was pretty easy, right? The sort of hint was there in the question itself, and you guys guessed it right. Majority of you. So that's again good sign. Let's take a look at the scores. Vaishu is on fire. I don't know why that sign is coming up, but um, uh, Aishwarya is on top with 2900, 2988 point. In Pardot account with custom user roles enabled, what permissions would you give someone to full access to Engagement Studio? So out of these four, which permission you would give? View, delete, create, edit, delete, create, edit, view, delete, create, edit, view. So create, edit, view, delete is the correct answer, and majority of you got it right. Ketan is coming up really fast. Aishwarya is again on top. These type of rules, retroactive, constantly running, and match one time only. Automation rule, segmentation rule, retroactive rules, cron job rules. Automation rule is the correct answer, and four guys or four participants got it correct. It's definitely not segmentation rule, and these two are fake options that we provided. Awesome. So Aishwarya is again on a top with 4,400 plus points. Garima is just 400 points below her, and Shweta again is just 400 points below Garima. So guys, come on. Pick a statement that describes segmentation rule. So there are two two statements which describe segmentation rules. Those are separated by comma. So identify them quickly. So snapshot in time and focus on building lists. So these two statements describe segmentation rules, and majority of you got it right, which is great sign. Wow, topic competition is getting tougher. Karima is on top. Shweta is just 100, approximately 100 points below, and then Aishwarya is again 100 points. Ketan, you have a great chance. Just stay focused. Double point question. What was the code that we showed in last session? So if you have attended this, you'll get it right. And for this question, I have given 30 seconds. Identify the code that we showed in last session. You need to be correct. You need to be fast. And 14 folks got it right. And 2 folks got it wrong. So let's see the result. Garima is on third. Aishwarya is on second. And first one is Shweta. So our winner for certification voucher is Shweta. Aishwarya and Garima, I'll try and find out some goodies for you guys. The only thing is you'll have to, I won't be able to ship it to you guys, so you'll have to, sort of somehow collect it from me in one of our meetup, or ask someone of your friend who work with me or stays nearby and collect it from me. So Shweta, you can message me your email address, and I will send you the certification code. Okay. Okay. So with that, our game is end now. So Sharad, thank you very much for sharing this knowledge.